another
Yes, another
winter
wonderful
day
day. Wonderful
in
day. I know I'm
the.
getting sick. I've had a runny
Oh,
nose all day.
my son is sick. So, yeah, it like
I,
pains me to watch him suffer. He's like not
I
that sick. He just
know.
has a bad cough and he won't eat or anything. And he looks very listless. I feel so bad for him.
I hate it when babies are sick.
I
Oh,
know.
my daughter has actually never really been sick like that, like with a cold. Never her
Oh,
whole
wow.
life. When she gets sick, it's like the worst. When she was a baby and she would get sick, she always got these like weird stomach viruses, and
Mm.
it always resulted in her at least four separate times that I can think of throwing up on me in the middle of the night.
Oh, beautiful.
It was just awful. It was
Yeah.
like, why can't you just get like a normal cold
Normal.
like a
Yeah.
kid?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the cold is kind of sweet. He's like very low key and it's nice. Like I just want
Mm-hmm.
to cuddle him, so it's
Oh,
kind
I
of
know.
cozy. But then I'm like his breathing sound, not breathing, it's when he coughs. It sounds like he has stuff in his lungs, so I'm
Yeah. Oh, I hate
nervous.
that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I was
Yep.
asking ChatGPT for advice all day and it told me to calm down. So
I know, it's funny. It's I when I was 28, Charlotte was, I think, a year. She wasn't quite 2 years old. I actually got pertussis, whooping cough.
oh, whooping cough, yeah.
Um, and this is why I'll never go full anti-vax. I'm telling you right here, because she was vaccinated for pertussis and I had it. I had like
Hmm.
full blown whooping cough for weeks, like
Oh,
that whole thing. And every, it happened,
oh,
it comes on every night. And it was so awful. And she was like, fine,
fine, yeah,
never even nothing.
yeah.
It was really nuts. Apparently, you have to get boosters for it. I don't know. I've
Uh,
had it now, so I'm never thinking about it again. But yeah,
yeah,
so I
that's
know
yeah.
I can remember that. I remember like back then, thinking, oh my god, what if my baby got this? That would be the worst thing in the
Yeah.
world. Like just to hear your little baby just, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah. Well, he got COVID when he was pretty young and
mm,
he got croup. It was kind of I was scared,
oh
but um
yeah,
yeah, the winter is not the most fun time, but we do have some fun updates.
yeah.
The governments around the world are in full swing trying to make sure nobody can criticize Israel or Netanyahu now. You can't even criticize
Right,
certain head of state. Apparently, they are beyond criticism.
right.
So, do you want to start with Australia?
Well, first
Since
of all, I want to start with y'all stop leaving anti-Semitic comments on Miss Rachel's videos, okay? Because poor baby apparently went to go hide one and hit like instead.
oh no,
And then somebody saw it.
oh
And then they like, of course, they see that and they just blow it up. And
yeah,
she was like on a live crying, poor thing. She's like, I would never do this. I meant to hit like I'm a human. And I'm like, first of all, honey, I need you to stop crying, okay? Because it's not that big of a deal. All right.
yeah,
They always looking for something. Girl, they put you in the running to be anti-Semite of the year. Okay. So
yeah. I know. I
they're always
often
gonna find something. Yeah.
yeah, if someone like says something really insane on the subject and they're like they kind of get ratioed, I'll like a lot of the tweets just to make sure, they
Yeah.
get, some of those get a lot of likes. And sometimes I go really fast and they're like, there'll be an anti-Semitic one. I'm like, oops, like I better
Oh
unlike
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And if that was like someone who was just trying to catch me.
Oh, I know.
uh,
Yeah. It's you have no idea how many times I've went to go hide a comment because I do that all the
uh,
time. If you get crazy in my things now, granted, I let a lot of stuff just go. I just don't care. It's too much.
yeah.
Again, everything relative to what's going on in Israel. It's like I just don't care about stupid comments on the internet. But
Yeah.
I've accidentally followed people.
Oh
I've
yeah.
followed people when I'm going to hide their comment. Usually it's
Yeah.
somebody calling me like a dumb bitch or something. Like if you
Yeah.
come in and you like start cursing at me right away, you're just gonna get blocked. Your comment's gonna get hid and you're gonna get blocked, and I'm gonna never think about you again. Which is how I have blocked over 10,000 people.
Yeah.
But Uh, yeah, but there's been a handful of times where I like go to do that and I end up following them. I'm like, shit, God,
Oops.
and they're gonna get the
Yeah.
notification.
Yeah.
They're gonna get the notification that I followed them, and then they're gonna go to look and they're gonna see that they're blocked now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so poor thing, she was crying, and I was like, okay,
Oh,
come on, guys, we gotta
poor Miss
just
Rachel.
I know. I felt so bad for her. She was really upset by that. You could tell. They said
Yeah.
it wasn't even like they said we need to free America from Jew control. It's like, yeah, we shouldn't say things like that, but is it like the worst thing that somebody could say? Like I
No.
could go onto like a freaking Zionist account. I mean, I don't know. How about the fact that Randy Fine, a sitting member of Congress today,
Yeah.
introduced a bill saying that, which he said, moderate Islam is a threat to America, and now he wants to ban Sharia law from the U.S. Which again, that's just
It's just a made up
such
issue
it
problem.
is.
It's
It's
like not,
totally fake. It's not a thing. Okay? It's
yeah.
not.
No.
And like Sharia law is not recognized. No religious
No.
law is recognized by as far as criminal goes. Now there are some religious, which I think is interesting because there's actually pretty big Jewish law systems set
Yeah.
up in like New York and New Jersey. They have them in Florida, and they have them in Texas, where like you can get married and divorced. And I believe the same is for Islam, and I think there's actually some Hindu laws as
Mm.
well. But it's like civil stuff like that. It's not actual
Yeah.
criminal law, you know.
Yeah, I do. So I think like I don't want to speak off the cuff because this was a long time ago, but I know a guy who practiced. He was Muslim and practiced matrimonial law and like specialized in doing it for Muslims. And I think like a court can factor in if you are a certain religion, they can like factor in the religious customs when making a
Mhm.
decision. But it's not like nobody's like if you want, if the couple is like, we are Muslim, we want the judge to take into consideration like our
Right.
beliefs when they make decision and everyone
Right.
agrees to it. But it's never done against anyone's will. And it's never done
Right.
like to people who aren't part of the religion.
And
And it's
it's
like,
civil law, right? It's
yeah. And
like
it never would
domestic.
it
Yeah,
would
it's not
never
criminal law.
override New York or New Jersey law or
Right.
wherever you are. Like it would just, if there's like an ambiguity or like there's something, and you're like, oh, well, my religious custom says this and settles it. It's like, and
Mhm.
we both want that. We both want the religion to
Right.
dictate it. Then the judge can be like, okay,
Right.
for the tiebreaker, I'll use your religion, whatever religion that is. So, I mean, this is just like a made up problem. It has no basis in reality. Nobody is trying to impose Islam on anybody who doesn't want it. I mean, that's an exaggeration. There are a few people, but it's not a problem in America.
Right. Well, if anyone ever does try to force something like that on you, you actually can seek refuge and respite from the American legal system, justice system. We actually have remedies for that. If someone is trying to force you into a contract that you do not want to be, you're not a willing party to, you can actually you have protection under American law. So it's just stupid. It's so stupid, and it's
Yeah.
it's meant to be I don't even know what it's for. It's like
It's just to
who
scare
is this
people.
right, who
It's
does
the
this
whole
appeal to?
tactic of, it's easier to get people to hate Muslims than to love Israel. So
Right.
it's part of the, rile up hatred against Muslims, try to paint them as the bad guys who are trying to take over America. And then maybe you won't notice that actually we're throwing out all of our constitution or several parts of it in
Right.
order to
Oh yeah, yeah. And
placate the Israel fanatics. Like
yeah,
Pam Bondi just went on TV the other day, or she went on what was it, a conference like the Israel American Committee or something
there's so
with
many of
Miriam
them.
Adelson, and
So
basically
freaking
said
many of them.
she's just going to use DOJ to go after pro-Israel people. Um, sorry, anti-Israel people or whatever. Like this is the real threat. Um,
Right.
and while we're on Florida, we should talk about there's a new bill that was introduced I think in the House. I don't think it's been in the Florida Senate, but I might be wrong. It's
Well,
HB
first of all,
30. Yeah.
Florida's just losing its mind because
Yeah.
the story earlier this week was it was out of Miami Beach. So there's this woman down in Miami Beach. She was a former candidate for I guess local office. Miami Beach, not the city of Miami. This is Miami Beach,
Yeah.
which I believe is a little north of that. So it's its
Yeah.
own city, it's its own town, which has its own mayor. The mayor is
Yeah.
like this psychotic Zionist. He's Jewish, hardcore, um, religious fanatic Zionist. Okay, this guy tried to get the what was the movie, the documentary last
Oh,
year that
no
won
other land.
No
No
Other
other land.
Land? He actually pulled the um the theater that was going to show it in his town. He pulled their rental
Funding
agreement.
or
He yeah,
funding, right?
yeah,
Or yeah.
something, so that he canceled the lease that they owned on the
I
building.
thought I thought they also were a nonprofit that got some city funding, and so he was threatened or he withheld the funds or something. I might be wrong. I forgot the
The
details, but
Yeah,
he used
the one thing, it was that he was canceling
like
the
the
lease
lease.
that they had.
So he used
Yeah.
his clout as government to
Yeah.
silence a viewpoint he didn't like, which is you can't do.
Right. Yeah, he was he tried to pass ordinance through the city council last year. I was looking at it. It was like a protest bill, but it specifically banned phrases like "from the river to the sea." That ended up getting stripped, but he was the one who introduced it. This guy's like a hardcore Zionist. He wants to shut down
Yeah.
any kind of criticism of Israel. He repeatedly, reiterates his government, our government, talking about Miami Beach and the state of Florida's commitment to the state of Israel. And I'm like, really, why are we committing ourselves to foreign countries? That's
Yeah.
weird. Okay, inappropriate. Shouldn't be doing things like that. So anyways, this local lady, her name is Raquel Pacheco, I believe it is, and she comments underneath his a Facebook post that he wrote. And let me look it up real quick because it's pretty wild. What she actually wrote was so it wasn't even okay. She wrote, I won't make you guys watch the whole video because it's long. Well, it's like 3 minutes long, which is long to me. She wrote, the guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians tried to shut down the theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community in any way, even leaves the room when they vote on related matters, wants you to know that you're all welcome here. Clown face, clown face, clown face. So that post got her a visit from the local sheriff's office, who said that she was potentially inciting violence by saying that he called for the death of all Palestinians, which he routinely, apparently, he conflates Palestinians and Hamas and then calls for the death of Hamas all the time. So, it's not that
So
far of a
he
leap.
can actually call for the death of people by ethnicity. But if she calls him out for doing that, people might get mad. And so that could indirectly cause. Yeah.
Also,
that makes a lot of sense.
Also, he can accuse anyone who says from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, of calling for genocide. He can accuse them of calling for genocide.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's not an incitement to violence at all. Right?
Right. But
if she says you do this, then that is potentially. So anyways, they send the police to her house. It ends up being, kind of blowing up. The video I posted got like almost 6 million views. Then, but everybody had that video. It was just all over the place. You couldn't scroll for 2 days basically without seeing that video. So the guy that we were talking about last week, James Fishback, it's Fishback, right? Yeah.
Yes.
He's trying to kind of push it to the forefront. Wanted to correct some things on him. I said that he was Jewish. He's not Jewish.
We both got something wrong.
Yeah. His name is apparently Jewish, but he's Catholic. And
I said something that I realized was incorrect too, but now I can't remember what it was.
Right.
Oh, I said he was married, and I had skimmed something, and it was Christina Pasha was actually referring to Jay Collins' wife, not Fishback's wife. She had done a string of apologies, and I didn't read it carefully enough. So yes, to correct the record on that, we try to be careful. Occasionally we slip up, but we do correct ourselves when we come across it.
Neither one of those is bad things, so it's not like we were like accusing him of anything. It's just like inaccurate. But
no, I think it's good we But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so that happens. Then that was last week.
Yeah.
Now, as Janine was just saying, we've
By the
got
way, I did want to, what's her name? Anna Luna or Anna Paulina Luna or whatever. She
mm-hmm.
actually criticized that, which shocked me. She said, I obviously don't agree with anything this woman wrote, but it is her First Amendment right.
Good.
And, we need to care about the First Amendment.
Yeah,
And I,
there was
yeah, I mean, there were a lot of conservatives
mm-hmm.
who, but I was surprised from her because she's, I don't necessarily consider her like the most principled person.
BB in the house.
Yeah. I
know.
do think, the woman has a lawsuit. It's very similar to the Bantam Books case where police, it was a Supreme Court case from the 60s where police showed up at like stores that they claimed were, and like sort of said, you might be selling illegal porn or sorry, illegal, like
Gotcha.
whatever. Yeah. Because some crosses the line or whatever. That was the law at that point. And you might get in trouble and blah, blah, blah. And the court found that was like a threat that chilled speech. And that was enough to constitute basically jawboning, the government sort of interfering with free speech by pressuring private parties to remove certain things.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, this is not jawboning, but I think it's kind of similar. Like they're showing up to her house. Yeah, they're not filing charges or anything, but it's a policy that I think has a strong chilling effect. So
yeah, it's Angleton. He says, why do you guys pit one over their order over the other? He says, I don't want either. Islam is not compatible. The thing is that we actually have religious freedom in this country. You can choose to believe anything you want. So as far as I don't know, the adherence to any religion, you could just do that. It's America. I don't know.
I mean,
nobody's forcing you to be a freaking
also
Muslim.
included religious freedom in the First Amendment. So I don't know what you're talking about.
They were pretty clear on that. So I don't quite get this criticism. I always hear this as if like if we defend this at any point, like, no, you guys are trying to like allow this to come in. No, you're forcing me to pick a side. I'm like, I'm not forcing you to pick any side. No. I'm forcing you to pick the side of religious freedom, which is America. Okay.
As long as you're not imposing it on other people. And these broad statements like Islam is not compatible with America. There are tons and tons of people in America, I know them, who practice Islam and are committed to American values, just like of every other religion. The problem is if you put, if you try to force your religious beliefs on everybody or other people in violation of our commitment to a religious freedom. But these broad, I mean,
it's because we've been propagandized since 2000, really since the 90s, to hate Muslims, to think that they want to force all women to wear coverings over their head, and they were going to chop women's heads off if they don't obey their fathers, all kinds of just crazy shit. And once you realize that and you go back and you really start looking at the propaganda that was pushed on us starting in about the mid 90s, it's really nuts, right?
Yeah.
And it just
right. Yeah. I'm not going to argue with this guy anymore. I'll just say one more time. Yeah, there are lots of people who do assimilate, right? So you judge individually. If people can't assimilate, that's the issue. If they can, you don't make these
non-assimilation
generalizations like that, whatever. But I'm done with this argument. It's silly. David has another question about does the Supreme Court have a track record of trampling on civil liberties and speech rights to protect Israel? Not yet.
I don't know.
Well, not yet. I mean, there haven't really been any cases that have reached the Supreme Court on this issue. I'm trying to think if there's something.
I know it's actually been a shockingly few number of cases.
I think people are probably worried about creating bad law in both directions. And still, I think Mahmoud Khalil's case, which is probably one of the big ones, it just was decided by the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, so the intermediate court.
I know. I was actually reading about special privileges or special protections, and the Supreme Court actually in 1980 did rule that Hasidic Jews did not qualify as protected minorities, which I thought was interesting. That was a SCOTUS ruling.
Yeah, that probably isn't consistent with there have been some later. They're always sort of refining or changing their doctrines. And then David also asked about the Florida Supreme Court, which I actually don't know. I don't. So there have been
Yeah,
some good decisions out of Florida challenging some of DeSantis's policies. I don't follow state courts that closely for the most part because there's so many of them. I think these were
right.
federal court cases, but I'm unaware of any extremely concerning cases out of that area on the topic. But
I know. I'm not aware of any either. I think that we are definitely coming to a head in Western nations in general, right? So we've got
yeah,
this rule or this new law. I believe Trump has passed several EOs that are being challenged right now.
yeah.
Then in Australia, in response to
Wait,
the,
did we didn't actually talk about what the Florida bill is.
oh, sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so it's actually pretty short, which is nice if you have to read a lot of laws. And it bans use of the term West Bank in any
Yeah.
governmental written materials, but also educational materials in public schools, and requires people to use the term Judea and Samaria. Unfortunately, so I just saw this like an hour ago, so I haven't had time to like think about it really hard. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be very hard to challenge the part about government materials because there's something called the government speech doctrine that says like the government can adopt a certain viewpoint,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have to be viewpoint neutral in its own, stuff. That's sort of
Right.
obvious, like, you know.
Yeah.
But when it comes to public schools, that's different, especially because children have the right to like receive a good education free from indoctrination and stuff. So I think a student could probably challenge this. And yeah,
Right. And so again, it'll be interesting because what I think it's actually going to do is it's going to require when these schools go to get new education material, new textbooks, things like that, they're going to have to seek out a Zionist aligned or a Zionist publisher in general to produce this material, to be in compliance with the state law, right?
yeah.
And so I think that that kind of lends itself to potential corruption. I mean, the entire world calls it the West Bank. It is recognized internationally as the West Bank, right? So, so much I don't even know,
Oh,
but
just ignore that guy.
oh,
So
okay.
he's the one, I just realized he was trolling us like a month or so
Oh,
ago,
gotcha,
and he
gotcha.
came back.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
came back starting kind of reasonable, I think, to suck us into a conversation, and then he
Gotcha.
did the same
Okay.
thing. So yeah, just ignore
Well,
him. We'll try to kick
yeah.
him out next time.
Lucky
I don't
for
like him.
me, I ignore all kinds of shit all day
Yeah,
long. So
me too.
that's
I just
very
don't
easy to
want,
do.
I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah,
him
yeah.
ruining the chat because people
It's
like to have
fine.
conversations. Yeah.
But okay, yeah, so I won't worry about that anymore. But yeah, so much anti-Jew stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's basking in the attention he's getting. So
Right,
yeah.
yeah, I
Anyway.
know. I'm a Catholic. Sure you are, bud. All right. But
Yeah.
Catholics super obsessed with shaming and shitting all over Islam. That's all you
I
care
actually
about. I
do.
hear
I
ya.
do know somebody who has that MO,
I've never met
so it's
I
possible.
know lots of Catholics and I've never met one that was like that.
I told you yeah, I do have one.
Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy. Some Catholics are insane, though. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
yeah,
we got crazies. Lord knows we got crazies in the evangelical Protestant sphere. Good heavens! I mean, I
yeah,
don't. Did you see Mike Huckabee's response to the Anglican churches of the West Bank of Jerusalem?
yes, yeah,
Very disturbing. It
yeah.
was so just cringe, embarrassing. Sorry, off topic, guys. Back to Florida, back to the law. And yeah, the big problem I think is the procurement of education materials and what
Yeah.
that's going to do. It's gonna ensure that only certain um, publishers will have access to these contracts because they'll have to oblige, and you will literally have to you'll have to print falsehoods because it's not Judea and Samaria. It is the West
Yeah.
Bank. It is
Yeah.
internationally recognized as the Florida is essentially adopting a policy in which they will have to miseducate their children.
Yeah. Well, that's a great lawsuit. So I kind of hope they pass it just so I
Yeah.
lawsuit. But
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty nuts, and you got to look at. I'm gonna have to dig tomorrow and see who wrote it and what kind of connections they have, because I genuinely believe still that this all just comes down to money.
yeah.
Because again, it's like, how often are you writing the term the West Bank in Florida state legislature? Like how
I
that's
don't
not a
think
thing.
it's all about money. I think there's
Oh,
a
I'm sure there's
yeah.
ideology. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that the money plays a role, but it's about pushing a certain viewpoint.
Right. Yeah. And of course they hope to start it. Now I do that was introduced, I believe, in Congress as well, but I don't think it
Oh,
passed.
yeah.
And that was last spring where they tried to pull that.
Uh,
Because again, something that a lot of people don't know is that the state of Israel has never defined its borders, because of course
yeah.
they want Judea and Samaria, but they don't actually want to extend citizenship to any of the people who live in the West Bank, right? They want their Judea and Samaria, and they want to just drive all of those people out. They don't care where they go. So they refuse to define their borders, which
Yeah.
is a very interesting thing if you really think about it, right? And of course, they have total military occupation over the West Bank. And so all of the people who live in the West Bank are subject to apartheid. So it is an apartheid state.
Yeah.
Um, it is a military occupation. It's not up for debate. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to sit here and debate with people who try to say that that's no, it's
No.
not. And they're like, you don't understand area A, B, and C. I'm like, actually, I understand them very well. I do.
Yeah.
Okay. And the fact that the IDF can go into the homes of anyone who lives in the West Bank, regardless of A, B, or C, doesn't matter. Okay. Under the pretenses of national security, and these people don't ever have any say to any of it. That's all you really need to know, that they live under a military occupation.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah. Um,
and so yeah. So if you say that in Australia now, you're probably going to go to jail.
yeah. I really quick, let me answer David's next question because he's asking some good ones about what judges would be most advantageous to Israel. I assume old school conservatives better on speech, like Scalia, but conservatives lean Zio. So all judges tend to be favorable to Israel.
Yeah.
But some of them have been good on speech, and I would say like it's young old, that's what I would think, but that hasn't actually proven necessarily very true in
Yeah.
my experience. There was a really good decision from in one of the immigration cases, someone being deported for their views, from judge, oh, his name is in Massachusetts, somewhere in Boston, and he was quite old, he was a Reagan appointee. Really good decision. And then the we had a really young judge in a case I have in DC, and he's awful. Not the one in California. She's all right. She's not awful. So it's I don't think there's like a single demographic. We'll
Right.
see how, I mean, eventually one of these cases will get to the Supreme Court, something having to do with these topics, and
Yeah.
we will see. I mean, I'm curious. I don't trust two of the I'm not sure I trust Thomas and Alito because I think
Really, those
I
are the
don't
two
know.
that I actually would trust. I
Really?
don't. I
So Gorsuch
definitely.
I like
Oh,
a
he's great.
lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Gorsuch I
He's.
do trust. He's
I don't
consistent.
trust ABC, and I don't
Oh no,
trust or
she's
ACB, and I don't trust Kavanaugh. But I
no.
actually,
They
yeah,
went voted against us in Murphy.
yeah,
So I'll never
yeah,
forgive them. They're weak and unprincipled. Maybe I mean
yeah.
yeah, maybe Alito and Thomas would surprise me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Alito, I think definitely would. I think he's been pretty strong on that. Thomas, for the most part, I think he would, because he's old school on a lot of this stuff, and I think and he's also like old school Catholic. He's not one of these like kind of new age Opus Dei Catholics. Not to
Yeah.
offend anybody, but there is a certain sect of Catholicism that is much more amenable to Zionism or whatnot. It's weird,
Yeah.
but whatever. Um,
We
but yeah,
also have one more comment, and then let's actually talk about Australia. The legacy media keeps talking about Insurrection Act in Minnesota. What about this crap going on in Florida? Maybe less violent, but everybody's reckless. Totally agree.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's different though, because it's the feds in Minnesota,
that's true. That's true.
and and then it's state. Although Minnesota's really pissing me off because again, I know that we differ on this, but I still think that it is so reckless that they refuse to allow the cops to engage any of this at all. And so you're just seeing run in after run in between the feds and the civilian
Yeah.
population. And the civilian population clearly doesn't understand all of the federal laws. If their local and state police were actually active, they would have more protections, right? They would
Oh
be
yeah.
right on a lot of
No,
their
I don't. I don't
interpretations.
disagree with you on
Yeah,
this. When it comes to like the sort of general issue, I'm a kind of. There are problems going on both sides.
yeah.
I do think the federal government is being heavy-handed and punitive, but there's also like a resistance
There's some
on the
craziness like
left
that.
that's just they're both
Storming
trying to
that
make their point
church,
too much and
right?
not trying to actually take care of the issue,
Right.
which
That's
is, people who should not be in this country, um,
right.
getting them out. Like
Right.
violent
Without
people and people who really are undocumented and have not, grown up here and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, storming that church on Sunday was just so gross to me on so many levels. Apparently, did you see it? The Don Lemon and was like leading a gang of these vigilantes who they said that a ICE agent is a pastor at this church. The ICE agent wasn't the pastor that day, but didn't matter. They storm into the church in the middle of the service, interrupting, calling them, saying that they are supportive of their white supremacists. They're all of these things. You have like children like in there, like shaking, terrified of what's going on. And they're like, we have a right to protest. You know, you don't. Get out. This
Yeah.
is private property. Okay. You actually
Yeah.
don't have a right to protest this inside this church. Get out.
Yeah.
And like, what are you talking about? And then, of course, they realized they made a mistake, but instead of just admitting that, they're like, well, it doesn't matter because there was that one woman. She's like the spokeswoman for the liberal white woman brigade.
Oh,
I don't know. She's a podcaster. Oh,
is it Jennifer Welch or something?
yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah,
her.
she was talking to David Remnick from the New Yorker, I think.
And she's like, evangelicals voted for Trump 80%, so they're guilty for all of his crimes. It's like, holy shit.
God.
Bitch. Oh my gosh. It was so nuts. So I'm like, please resist the urge to go full, tyrant on these crazy people, right? I don't want to do that because I know it'll get turned around on us. We have to remember that. But there needs to be order, all right?
Yeah.
And the state of Minnesota has just failed. They're just so utterly worthless in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
The whole state and local government in the state of Minnesota, it's unbelievable. And bad things are going to happen if they don't put some order in. I think that
they already have.
Yeah, they
More
have happened,
things,
and it's going to be like, and I'm worried that we're just getting baited into this thing where they are going to, like invoke the Insurrection Act or something, or they're going to try to invoke martial law in some way, shape, or form. And they're going to use these outrageous tactics that are being used. And then, of course, you've just got this impotent state and local government that's like, well, we're not going to participate,
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating.
Very.
Watching.
Yes. Jose, who I think we've both been on his podcast, says Don is such an idiot. Still ridiculous to hit him for the KKK Act. Simple trespassing at best. Chilling effect on journalism, despite the journo being a goofball. All fair to me.
Yeah. Have they actually hit him though? Because I don't think they have. I know they talked about it, but then they didn't. The SAVE Act is what he's talking about, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Which is like you're not allowed to to interrupt people's the way that they practice. They said that they didn't charge it on Monday because it was MLK Day, which is okay, fine. But then to my knowledge, they haven't done it. And I don't think they're going to do it. But yeah, no, it should be. But again, this is state government, because the state and local governments are refusing to do this. The feds are looking for something to charge.
Yeah.
And that has been my point now for a couple of weeks, that the state and local government throwing their hands up and saying,
Yeah.
well, we're just not going to be involved, is actually empowering the federal government, giving them more power, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's frustrating. Hi, Jose. Jose got called out by Richie Torres yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know.
Congratulations, Jose.
I know, yeah. He's definitely making some traction in his
Yeah.
race against Torres. And
Oh,
we're
you're
gonna have
talking about this is Jose Gallison,
Oh, this was
not
Vega?
Jose
Okay.
Vega. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you for
No, the
coming,
guy
Jose.
we've both separately been on his podcast, I think. Not the guy we've had.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I know. Hi, Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally different one.
Yeah,
Not even
totally
the same
different.
one. Yeah.
But I was like, that's
Yeah.
random. That
Yeah.
now it
Yeah.
makes sense because Richie Torres, because he's running against Richie Torres. So
But no,
let's
so-
finally get to Australia. I've been stopping you because we keep having some.
I know. I keep
comments to
going
get to,
back
but-
to Australia.
But I'll let you, because I have not actually read the text of that law. It was very long, and I bookmarked it. And
Right.
haven't gotten to it
Oh,
yet.
so well, of course, I didn't read the daggone law. So in response to the Bondi Beach terror attack, this is just reading a headline from The Guardian. It says criticism of Benjamin Netanyahu may be an offense under Australia's new hate speech laws. And this is Anthony Albanese, who is the PM of Australia, and Tony Burke said the laws are needed to protect Australians, particularly the Jewish community. So we saw right after the Bondi Beach massacre, like we're talking like an hour later. Okay, these people have been shot. It's awful. It's horrific. You got like 13 people dead, I believe. Almost immediately, Netanyahu's coming out and saying, we need more laws to protect Israel, right? Like you can't criticize Israel. And it was like, dude,
He's like the poster boy for the saying, "Never let a good crisis go to waste."
Right.
He's
Yeah.
like-
I'm like, I even posted, I'm like, hey, if you don't want people thinking that this is a false flag, you should maybe resist the urge to capitalize or exploit a tragedy. I don't know, give it a 72-hour window, okay? Like, but no, I mean, we're talking like, it wasn't even 72 minutes. And these guys are coming out saying we need protections for the state, criticism of the state of Israel, which was, I don't know, just nuts to me.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you've got really mentally unwell people doing this stuff. And again, I'm one of those people, whether it's a white boy shooting up a school in the US or it's, a Syrian refugee shooting up a beach in Australia, I am of the position that these are unwell people. And they are the ones responsible for their own actions. And no, I will never support legislation on everybody else, punish essentially the group because of the actions of an individual, right?
Yeah.
Which that's always the position in the U.S. is there's a mass shooting, the left wants to do more gun control,
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I get very annoyed because I think these sort of responses to you don't make policy based on isolated events. That's not a good idea.
Right.
You should make policy calmly based on facts and statistics and weighing the pros and cons. A lot of bad laws come out of like these sort of, we have to respond to this somehow. And unfortunately, bad things are going to happen. Like that's the world we live in. Fewer bad things could happen if Israel wasn't committing genocide. But
well, in Australia, it's really nuts because it was about, I believe, 6 weeks prior to the Bondi Beach shooting, Netanyahu sent a letter that he published, of course, online to Albanese, and he said something bad is going to happen if you don't curtail the anti-Semitism in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. Like, because Australia doesn't have an anti-Semitism problem. It has an anti-Zionism problem. Why? Because Israel is committing genocide. Sorry, guys. Turns out people actually don't like the wanton slaughter of women and children and innocent men. So many innocent men that have just been so dehumanized in Gaza. It's a tragedy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so, and people are disgusted by it and they're revolted by it. You won't even let, you guys are so comically evil. You won't let tents in. I check the weather
Yeah.
in Gaza all the time. And yeah, it's the Mediterranean, so it doesn't get super, super cold, but it's still dropping down into the high 40s and it's raining. And these
Yeah.
babies,
Yep.
small baby children, little toddlers, if you've got kids at home, you know what it's like. And they're
Yeah.
wet
Yeah.
and they're intense and the wind is blowing right off of the beach.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why they're dying of hypothermia.
Yeah, they're dying like all the
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
And yeah, and you guys are just such evil assholes. And you've got
Yeah.
thousands of tents that you could let in and you won't do it. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, everyone's going to hate you and they're going to continue to hate you. And I don't actually think that your reputation can be salvaged. I think that you will be seen as just these comically evil caricatures
Yeah.
for the foreseeable future. So what is their alternative? It's to outlaw, to pull their strings wherever they can to outlaw um, criticism. That's the only thing they can
Right.
do.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and none of it's going to work in the long run because people don't, that just doesn't work. I mean, and
Right.
this is a point many people have made many times, but for those who haven't heard it yet, I mean, not to ever justify collective punishment is always wrong, but they're doing their I mean, Netanyahu and all the Zionists do their damnedest
Mhm.
to insist that Judaism is actually inseparable from Zionism. So some people are going to believe that and shoot Jews just for being Jewish.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't
Even
have it both ways.
right. Yeah. And obviously we don't condone violence even against
No.
Zionists, right? Like
No, of
we
course not.
condone justice against
Yeah.
Zionists. Okay. And if you are part of the IDF, if you are a material supporter of the state of Israel and you have actually helped to enable their war crimes, absolutely, we support justice against you.
Yeah.
You know, I support justice all the way. Janine stops. She's got a hard stop.
Well,
Not this girl.
my anti-death penalty commitment is tested by someone like Netanyahu. I can't say I would not.
Yeah, not me, boy.
I would think I'd rather see him rot in a
No.
really miserable small cell forever, but
Yeah, no. I've got a I'm one of these people you got to get it out. You got to clear the clutter out, just be gone, be done with it. Send them to meet their maker and they will but I'm a firm believer in heaven and hell, so I believe in eternal punishment. But regardless,
but we don't
you
get
know,
to watch it. I want to see
Yeah.
pictures of Netanyahu behind bars.
and he's old too. He's like
Yeah.
crazy old. He's like 78.
He's in his yeah, he's
Yeah.
getting pretty old.
Yeah. So he's gonna be
Yeah.
dead soon. Anyways, it's so nuts. We have all of these old ass men like running and women. We've got like a shit ton of old women. I'm like, how
Yeah.
are you this freaking old, lady? And you're
know.
supposed to be playing bridge.
Who
all
was the one
right?
who like died, or was she was like? It
Oh,
turned out she was like in a nursing home and she was still in Congress. No, Diane was
Well,
it?
so Diane Feinstein, but
Yeah.
no, Kay Granger. Also
yeah,
down
yeah.
in,
That was the one. That was like a year ago.
yeah.
That was a
Oh
big
yeah, I mean,
scandal.
I was so mad about that.
I think
'cause
we
she's a
talked about it.
Republican. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that was nuts.
Yeah. And then,
You
but
have
Feinstein was
a
the
very
same-
big yeah, you have a very big fan in the comments. He keeps saying how hot you are. I said I would.
Oh, well,
convey the
that's
message
kind of
when-
you because I'm sick, and so that makes me feel better. Thank you. So I closed my messages out because I was going to get really annoyed by that person. So, we got to figure this out. We got to figure out how to like kick people out. I
Yeah.
know that I'm gonna take a class from like Zeb or Jose one day. I'm gonna get them to teach me how to
teach
do all
us,
of
yeah.
the things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We
No,
do have to up our technology game a little bit.
I know it's really pathetic. It's really pathetic. But yeah, that's about it. We've got and then you got Trump at the WEF today, just in the old man rambles.
Yeah.
I like it's so funny. I like dropped a little thing in the because he's like did the whole classic boomer. If it weren't for us, you'd be speaking German right now. And it was so funny to me because the video said, like Davos, Switzerland, and I'm like, Bro, they literally speak German in Switzerland. What are you talking about? And so
That was really funny.
I posted that, and oh my gosh, all of the linguists came in. They were like, he's not talking to just the Swiss, right? Or, you know, um, everybody wanted to tell me there's 4 official languages in
Yeah.
Switzerland. I'm like, you get my fucking point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, my point still stands. They do speak German. Okay. They actually speak German all over the EU. 20% of the EU, German is their first language. So, it's so funny to me. And, I had a lot of people, they were like, what's wrong with German? I'm like, there's nothing wrong with German. Okay. Probably don't want, we didn't want the Germans to win World War II. But I don't understand why 80 years later we got to continuously shit all over the Germans. Like, the Germans are great. They invent lots of good stuff. They have great cars,
Yeah.
They have just beautiful ingenuity, like, all the way around them. I mean, they do everything right.
My mom's side is German, so I have
Yeah.
I do. My mom has like a lot of German cultural. Her dad was like actually German. So
Yeah.
she's picked up some of the cultural stuff, which I appreciate,
Right.
but I do not like that they support the genocide. It's like,
no, that's very frustrating,
so,
right?
yeah, I'm like, you
what's interesting,
couldn't get this right the second time.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that I was looking at a poll of Europe the other day, and actually Israel is the most hated in Germany among the populace. But
Really?
the government is very touchy.
Yeah.
And of course, I get it, because every time they do anything, even the slightest criticism, of course, what do all the Zionists do? Oh, well, there's Germany again. Once a Nazi, always a Nazi, and it's like, this is why we have to break this absolute fanatical obsession with World War II, where all of history begins and ends in 1945, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit about that stupid war anymore. I just don't. I don't. I'm so over all of it, okay? There's actually been a shit ton of wars since then, okay? Most of them have been really tragic. They have turned out absolutely awful in every way, shape, and form. I love how everyone always skips over Vietnam.
Yeah.
As if, like, that just didn't happen. Like,
yeah.
55,000 American soldiers didn't just give their life for nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah. Well, the mythology of World War II, like that it was this good, sort of
good versus evil.
Biblical good versus evil, and we were the good guys and we won. Which is not to say I don't think that, we were mainly morally superior, but it was more complicated. And
because we aligned with Stalin.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think Americans were more superior or morally superior to the German people. I actually doubt that. I mean, the governments were, but in any event, but then we have to deal with the fact that we did this horrible thing like not that long after.
Right. Well, you have to, it's really a battle of ideology between, fascism and democracy, communism and capitalism, because of course we immediately go to war with, had the Cold War with Stalin, communists versus capitalists right afterwards. But yeah, World War II really, it was the battle of ideologies that part gets lost in the Holocaust narrative, right? Because everything is about the Holocaust, and it's just this like overpowering, overbearing thing that it's like, actually there was a lot more going on at the same time. That was tragic. Obviously collective punishment is wrong. The lesson we all should have learned is that we should never do this to anyone. I understand. I always thought that was the lesson everybody took away. Turns out I was wrong.
Apparently not.
Yep, turns out.
I thought one of the most emblematic things of this whole situation with Gaza is when what was it, the L.A. Holocaust Museum had put up some kind of sign saying like "never again" means never again for everyone, and they had to take it down because they came under such pressure from the Zionist groups. Like, are you joking? So you're saying actually the lesson was not that we shouldn't genocide anyone?
They said, don't you all lives matter, our never again. I remember seeing that from somebody, and I was like,
so insane. That is
you
so
know?
insane. The unabashed like
Yeah, just the
supremacy.
supremacy. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
narcissism. It really
Yeah.
is like real,
Yeah.
real, ethno narcissism. Uh, again, I don't know, man. You think about all of the involvement. This is why I'm an isolationist. I'm one of those people. I don't think America should have been involved in any of these wars. These weren't our problems. Um, and America always, we have the most perfect geography in the world. We always could have defended ourselves. We have wasted incalculable amounts of blood and treasure on, uh, pursuance of things that are not in our charter,
Yeah.
not in servitude of our people, and what's best for our country, right? So I am an isolationist. I say that proudly. I used to say that shyly, but now I'm like that. I'm like a
Yeah, that's
hardcore one.
it's
Okay.
not a crazy view in my
Yeah.
opinion. I mean, I tend to think it probably was the right thing to get involved in World War II, but they're also
Have you ever looked at? You should look at some. I'll post them one day. It was so funny when I went to go look at the first America First Party. So that was formed. It was an isolationist party that was formed in '39, and their posters were it's so funny to look at them now because the posters are like, well, we didn't raise our boys to die for a bunch of Brits.
that's funny.
I know. And these women, I was like, gosh, these are like my soul women right here.
Yeah.
Like, this is me, right? I would have been out there with them. It was so beautiful, like looking at all of their marches and everything. And of course, they unfortunately ended up losing, but
Yeah.
I think they were right. I do think that they were right. They were very much America First, America Only. And I don't think anything gets solved until we kind of get back to that, if
Yeah.
ever. We'll see. Doesn't seem like anybody. Everyone's so afraid. They're like, "Well, you can't. Isolationism is a dirty word," and that's why it's my goal to make it not a dirty word. It's not a dirty
Yeah.
word at all. You know.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I mean, I do think Daryl Cooper had interesting points. Of course, you're not allowed to say that either, but I'll probably regret it. But but I think there are questions about whether it needed to go where it went, and whether there could
right.
have been some things that happened earlier in the
Right.
game to
Yeah.
stop how tragic and how many deaths ended up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's some wild things that happen that they don't teach you about. They don't teach you about, like, the massacres and was it the Free City? It was like an international city that was in Poland. I forget the name of it. It's not Leipzig. It's Zantig or something like that. That's why Hitler invaded Poland. But also, like Hitler's like freaking taken bankers, the Rothschild bankers, hostage. He held one of the Rothschilds hostage for over a year. I think it was 15 months, I believe. Nobody ever talks. It's like, why has nobody ever talked about that? Why is that not part of the history? Because we're supposed to believe that everybody just woke up one day and lost their mind in Germany and then decided to conquer the world. And the Russians were really good guys until they weren't. And then we had a 40-year Cold War with them, which we fought in proxy wars all over the globe. Because communism bad, capitalism good.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the short history. And when you start to look into it, it's like actually all of these things make more sense. Doesn't make the tragedy, the human tragedy of it all any less horrific, but it does add context and you can see how things really got out of control really, really quickly, right?
Yeah.
And why we should be very careful now that it doesn't happen again like that. That no, we do need diplomacy. We need to talk. We don't need to villainize the way that like they're doing with Iran. Like Lindsey Graham's like he just posted today. You can never talk to the Ayatollah. He's never gonna change. And it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Just what you haven't changed. You haven't changed in 40 years. You have been calling for the bombing of all of the Middle East for 40 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more on that.
I know.
And probably a lot of the other things too, but I
know. Sorry, I go on my tangents.
No. Just when I'm getting back into the mainstream, Mel.
I know, right? I know. No, but here's the thing. We know what's in our hearts. We don't hold any heart. We don't
Yeah.
harbor any hate. And I just reject this idea that we can't have adult discussions
Yeah.
about very real things. I can
Yeah.
totally
And
reject that.
if we don't just adopt this cartoonish
Right.
good and evil, then we're bad people. We're anti-Semites or
Right.
Holocaust deniers or something. It's just so
Right.
ridiculous. So
It is. It's
ridiculous.
it's absolutely ridiculous. And what it really is, it's just a new form of blasphemy laws, right? That have
Yeah.
always. I mean, that's
I
that's what
was
it
gonna
is.
say it's a sort of form of social control, just like making it so you well, our podcast is named Previously Prohibited. So
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad we chose that name.
I know. I know. Zero filter over
Yeah.
here, and you have a very small, tiny filter. Thank heavens. um, but no, that's about it, guys. So I think
Yeah.
that. Well, but we do have our special guest on Sunday, which will be
Okay.
early. I haven't decided. I don't think we're gonna go live. I'll be honest with you. I'm
Okay.
gonna ask
Yeah. We can
Dr.
record. Yeah.
Rame if because we're gonna record with her at 2. If we do go live, it'll be at 2
Okay.
Eastern time because
Yeah.
it's
Or
8
we'll release it probably Monday or maybe
right.
Sunday night. We're
Yeah,
supposed to
Sunday
get a
night.
big storm, although they keep changing the. I don't know if you guys are.
Oh no, are you guys under that?
Yeah, my mom was actually supposed to come this weekend and she canceled because she didn't want to get stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not clear whether how hard, if at all,
They
DC.
keep kind of inching it north of us. I'm in Fayetteville, so it's like always been like right on the line. It's just the worst. North Carolina, it's I hate the ice so much. If we do get anything, it'll be ice, which will just be like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
No, I gotta go stock up tomorrow. My sister is up in Raleigh, and they're supposed to get like 10 inches.
Oh, wow. They're probably not
know.
equipped for that either. Well,
No.
take care, everybody.
We'll see
And
you
we
guys
will be
soon.
back either
Thank you
live
so
or
much.
with a recorded episode.
Yeah. But Sunday night, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.